Hey everybody, thanks a lot for joining me for this makeup tutorial. This is going to be a full face look. So I'm going to take this from absolute start where I'm wearing no makeup to finish when I'm doing the eyes and talking about what's on my lips and all that. So a lot of you have been wanting kind of an updated look at what I'm doing foundation wise, and also I've been hearing from people saying, you know, I love the colorful looks in these game day tutorials, but show me a neutral look for a minute, you know, like I want to see something, you know, kind of fall-like and just sort of a warm brown look was requested by a few people, so I thought I'd give that a go using some drugstore products that you can easily find, hopefully wherever you're at. So thanks a lot for tuning in for this, and I hope you enjoy it. I've already put on my moisturizer and my primer. I used my Aveeno Ultra Calming Moisturizer all over because my skin's getting a little more dry, and that one's really good for like dry sensitive skin. And then I've got Palladio Herbal Foundation Primer on, and now I'm going to use my Rimmel Lasting Finish Foundation. My shade is 200 Soft Beige, and I'm just going to, ooh, I definitely squirted out too much there, that's okay. And I'm just going to kind of generally, like I'm not really fully blending it in, but I'm kind of just putting it in general where I'm going to blend it in more. What's nice is this doesn't, you know, you have time with this foundation to blend it in. It doesn't just set. And then I'm using my Sigma. It's one of the new Sigmax like high definition brushes, round top kabuki F82. And so it has a really, it's one of those really dense soft brushes, and I like it a lot for liquid foundation because you get a really good blend on it, and it just gives you just that really flawless face look. Another nice thing about it is it's a smallish brush, really, so you can get right in. It's very dense. You can get right in around your eye area, you know, blend it, kind of circular motions down around your cheek, your chin. I'm getting right down under my jaw there, and getting under the other side. Well blended out foundation is such an important first step. Many people, you know, they may be dissatisfied with the way their makeup looks at the end, and sometimes it's those early steps that really make a difference. As you continue to pile on more makeup, then you're like, wait, I don't like the way this looks. But really just getting a good blend on your foundation, it should be easy. You know, if you're having difficulty with a certain brush, you know, maybe it's too small, maybe it's, you know, just not good for blending out foundation. So, you know, you shouldn't really be struggling to do this step. This should be fairly easy, so use a brush that makes it easy. This one happens to work for me, and it just really does give you that great blend on all areas of your face. I'm going to take care of some discoloration around my eyes with my Maybelline Dream Mousse Concealer. My shade is light 4-5. The shade is called Cream. So I just get some on my finger, and basically I really like to use my fingers for this step because it just really does, you know, press it into your skin, helps it kind of melt in with your skin. And with this mousse consistency, I think that's really necessary. So even if you're using like Maybelline Dream Mousse Foundation, I really recommend putting that on with your fingers just to get the best finish on your skin. So as you can see, getting it right in here, right in the innermost corner of my eye, and right up under my eye, actually like right up to my lower lash line, because, you know, discoloration happens in that whole area. You can look at, kind of see the difference in both eyes now. At the stage of the game where I like to take a loose powder and just kind of set the foundation, really lock in some staying power here. And my all-time favorite, this has been like daily use product since I've been making my YouTube videos, and it's from Mary Kay, and it is just the signature loose powder. My shade is Beige 1, and I'm actually using my e.l.f. Studio Complexion brush. Recently picked that up from Target to see how I like it, and it works pretty well for, you know, a light application of powder. So I'm gonna just use that I just go all over my face with this. And if you have oil control problems in certain areas, definitely cater to those areas as you apply your powder. But I'm just going to go lightly all over my face. Next, a light application of bronzer all over. I'm using my Rimmel Natural. It's the Natural Bronzer in Sundance. It has a little shimmer to it, but I find I've been actually using this on a daily basis on the nudes because I really don't feel like the shimmer comes through that much. And I think it's just, you know, it gives you a little glow, but nothing too overboard, nothing really glittery or anything. So again, just using my e.l.f. complexion brush, And I would just apply this, you know, when it's a light bronzer like this, for my skin anyway, this is fairly light. I just kind of try to hit the places where sun would naturally hit my skin, so sort of up around my temples, forehead area, tops of cheeks and stuff like that. When we get into contouring, that's where I take like a bronzer or a blush that's a little bit deeper, and I use a smaller brush to apply it. So I'm using this blush brush from Revlon. This I got quite a while ago at Big Lots, but you can find similar Revlon brushes at Walmart, or, you know, just any blush brush you like. An angled brush is good too. But I'm going into my e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzer. Yeah, I'm still working on using up this last little bit here before I open up my new one, but kind of helps to sort of look at an angle where the light allows you to see that little bit of shadow there under your cheekbone. And then kind of, I just suck it in just a little bit, and then you can see exactly where to go. I sort of apply it like that and then blend it out in that sort of a motion. Really important to make sure this step is blended. It should be subtle, but it can really do a lot for your face if you do a little contouring right there. So same thing on the other side. Suck it in, give yourself a little application, and then buff it out. And if you're struggling with blending on this step, it can always be a good idea to take a big fluffy kabuki brush and use that to really blend over anything you've done, because oftentimes that kind of a brush will be more dense than your, you know, blush brush was. So just keep that in mind. And other places you may want to contour, that's the main place I try to contour, but you can go kind of under your jaw there for a little face slimming, or you can contour your forehead. If you feel like my forehead's kind of wide and I want that to be a little more contoured, you know, you can definitely do that there as well. Get the application, buff it out, and use a larger brush if you so choose. I love the look, especially as we head into the colder months, you know, of sort of that rosy cheek. I think it just makes me think of fall and winter and chilly weather, and a great blush for that is actually the e.l.f. Studio Blush in Blushing Rose. And this is a gorgeous pigmented blush. It doesn't take a lot when you use it, and it has a slight golden shimmer in it. So it's like a rosy blush, golden shimmer. Only use a little bit, get just a tiny, I just literally just went like that with my blush brush, and I try to concentrate it on the apples of my cheeks, not getting too close to my nose. I get it on and then I blend it. Now at this point you could apply a highlighter if you wanted to. I feel like that blush had just a little bit of a glow to it, and that's really all I wanted for this look, so I feel like I've got enough sort of glowy faceness going on here. So I'm taking my e.l.f. High Definition powder, and this is just a translucent powder. I'm taking a big brush and I just kind of shake it like that, big kabuki, and just kind of run that around my face, and I feel like it gives a really flawless look, somewhat of a matte look, but I put it on all over everything, and it just makes everything look really even and blended, and I like that. First I applied my Palladio Herbal eyeshadow primer all over my lid. Then I'm going to go to a Hard Candy eyeshadow duo in Rush Hour. And I really like the Hard Candy eyeshadows. I have a couple of them, and this is a really pretty neutral one. So we're going to take this lighter shade here. It's kind of like a super light coppery brown. And so I'm going to use my e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, really get some of that product on there, and we're going to pat that on the inner part of our lid here. I'm also using the tip of the brush just to get a little bit of that product right around the inner corner right here. I'm using the same shade, just a different brush to sort of change the application. Going to it with a fluffier brush, my Sephora Rounded Crease brush, and just getting a lighter application of that shimmery shade all up under the eye. The e.l.f. eyeshadow brush in the darker brown with the pretty gold undertone, and pick some of that shade up, and we're going to pat that on the outer half of the eyelid. I love these two shades side by side, kind of blended like this on the lid. I think it really pops. It's just a really beautiful way to wear brown. Not all browns are this pretty to look at, so Just doing that, and you can see I'm also kind of working that up into the crease as well, just a little bit, so kind of getting it on the lid and also pushing it up towards the crease. Then I'm going to take my Smashbox brush. It is my number 15 brush. It's kind of just a medium-sized crease brush, getting a little more of that same brown we put right there on the lid, and just taking it even more on the crease, following just the natural crease shape here. We're not doing an outer V right now, we're just trying to get that shade up there to provide some contrast for us. Next we're going to go to one of my favorite drugstore shades, and it's a CoverGirl Eye Enhancer Single in Brown Smolder. Definitely a deeper brown than what we just used, and I'm taking my Essence of Beauty Fine Crease brush, and I'm just getting a little bit of that brown just sort of right out here. I'm not working it into a big outer V, but I'm just taking the outer part of the crease and deepening it just a little bit more. Next up, I'm going to use some brown cream liner. This one is actually, it came like this. I just twisted the top off, and it was part of that trio of cream eyeshadows from Physicians Formula. This brown came from the Hazel Eyes kit, and I'm going to be using my angled, bent, if you will, eyeliner brush from Coastal Scents, and I'm just going to be taking this creamy product and getting it all along my lash line up here. I covered my whole upper lash line from inner to outer corner, but with the outer edge here, we're going to build that up just a little bit. We're not making a big, real wing of it exactly, but we are thickening it and just extending it a little bit past the natural lash line. So you can see where my eye would curve and go back down. We're actually bringing this just out a little bit with that dark brown. Next, we're just making a connection with the lower lash line there, so bring it up, connect with the outer edge, and just bring it down slightly. And we don't want to go really under the entire lash line here, so I'm just taking it like kind of fading it to the halfway point. Next, I'm going back to the CoverGirl shade Brown Smolder, that matte brown, using an angled eyeliner brush and just going over what I just did there with the cream liner. If you want to go over the upper lash line a little bit, you can kind of like soften it up just by going over it with some powder shadow like this. And then my final step with the powder is just to take sort of you can use a pencil brush, and I've got this one from Coastal Scents. It's sort of like a pencil brush, really stiff, small brush, and I'm going to this shade again, this the darker of the two brown shades in the Hard Candy kit. And I'm just using the tip and running under this whole lash line area. And what that's going to do is just make it look almost a little bit smoky. And it's just going to make it look less like, okay, there's a line of eyeliner there, and it's just going to make it look really kind of blended out and just deep. And then we're going to go in with a black liner on the waterline just to provide some real contrast. So everything's been brown, a little bit lighter, and then as we get really in close to the eye, we're going to get that nice darkness. So this is the L'Oreal Pencil Perfect. I find it to be very creamy and extremely dark, and so it really shows up whenever you put it on the waterline. So there, just putting it from the inner corner and to the outer corner there, and suddenly the whites of your eyes are popping just a little bit more, and it really sets off that brown. Next, I'm going to apply some mascara, and I'm going to make it a nice, rich black mascara. So again, we have that contrast with the brown. Like I like using some dark accents, even when I'm using kind of some dark, smoky colors, to really have some deep blacks, so nothing ends up really looking muddy. So I use that black on the waterline, and then I'm using my Voluminous Carbon Black mascara on the upper lashes, and just a quick coat of Lash Discovery on the bottom so it doesn't look clumpy, but will kind of help those bottom lashes stand out as well. Alright guys, here is my finished look, just kind of my basic fall makeup tutorial. I really just, like I said, wanted to do something where I could take you start to finish again, show kind of what I've been doing lately foundation wise, and also a neutral eye look that many of you wanted to see. So on my lips, I really love this lipstick. Sometimes with tutorials, it's kind of like, okay, I'm just looking for this certain thing and I need it for the tutorial, but this is one of those lipsticks that I'm going to be using a lot. I got it recently from Walgreens, and it's from Maybelline. It's the Color Sensational lipstick in Nearly There. And so it's one of the neutrals, and what I love so much about this is like you put it on and it's like your lip color, but glowy and shimmery and pretty. And it's just like, you know, it's not a far cry from my natural lips, but yet it looks so much more polished and finished. I really like it. So that's all I have on my lips right now. I just put that on and I feel like I've got this nice neutral finish, but it gives the look a really nice glow because everything is so neutral with this. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you're liking for fall makeup these days or what you want to see in a future tutorial, and I would be happy to try it out. So thanks so much for watching and have a great day.